65 years ago, a group of 9 experienced mountain climbers set out on a trek in Russia. They were trained enough to execute challenging climbs and had tackled many challenging trails before. They were positive that they will finish the trail anyhow, but something terrible happened to them on the mountain that resulted in their death. Yes, you heard that right, and that too in very cruel and mysterious circumstances. When the bodies of these trekkers were found, people were frightened. Everyone had their share of questions. Who ripped off their eyes and tongue? Who stripped off their clothes in the freezing minus 30-degree temperature? And why did they tear their own tent and run away? What really happened that night? These questions make you curious too? Stay with us till the end of the video to gain the right answers. Let's uncover the truth behind this chilling mystery. Without any further ado, let's begin with the video. The story begins with a young group of 10 people, including a couple of women along with 8 boys. The leader of this group was Igor Alexeyevich Dyatlov. At that time, Dyatlov was pursuing radio engineering at UPI University. Dyatlov, who was only 23 years old, chose 9 others who were also grade 2 level hikers and students like him. If they completed this mission, they would earn the highest certification of the time, the grade 3 certificate. Therefore, the entire mysterious accident was named after Dyatlov because he was the leader of the group, and everyone was somewhere relying on him. On January 23, 1959, these 10 people set out for the Ural mountain range in Siberia. They designed their route to go from Sverdlovsk Oblast to the upper stream of the Lotzva River. The Sverdlovsk City Route Commission approved their plan, and on the morning of January 23rd, they began their journey. On January 25, 1959, the group reached a small Russian town called Ivdel via train. From there, they loaded their gear onto a truck and headed to Vijay, a small village. After reaching Vijay, they had planned to begin the trek traditionally, that is, via foot. A couple of days later, the group of 10 began their journey towards Gora Otorten. However, the next day, January 28th, Yuri Yudin, one of the members from the group, began to feel unwell. He had symptoms of rheumatism and a congenital heart defect. His knees and joints were in severe pain, so he decided to leave the group and return home. It would be fair to say that fate had other plans for him, sparing him from the tragic events to come. Yuri Yudin's poor health and decision to turn back saved his life, and he ended up living for another 55 years. Sadly, little did the remaining 9 members of the group knew that they had only 5 days left to live. How did the final journey of the remaining 9 members begin? After Yuri Yudin left the troop in the middle, the group now had a couple of women and 7 men who were full of energy and determination to reach their destination. On January 31st, they reached a highland area. From there, the path ahead was only uphill, and they planned to start their ascent the next day. The group had several diaries and cameras with them, which provided detailed information about their journey. They meticulously recorded every small detail in their diaries. According to their records, they planned to begin their climb on the 1st of February, so they prepared enough food supplies in advance. On the morning of their destined date, the group arrived at the base of a mountain called Kolatsiakl. The local people there used to refer to this place as the Mountain of the Dead, but no one takes a name of a place seriously until it shows them why that name justifies the place. So, was going to happen with the deterministic troop ready to climb the mountain. As the troop was about to reach the summit, they realized they had lost their way due to bad weather and fog. They decided not to continue to the top or move to a forested area about 1.5 kilometers away, which might have provided them with some shelter from the harsh weather. Yuri Yudin, who had left the group earlier, later speculated during the investigation that the group decided to camp in that spot because they didn't want to lose the altitude they had gained. For any hiker, reaching such a height in bad weather is a significant achievement, and they likely thought they would reassess their path the next day. During the investigation, the officers found in their diaries only recorded events up to February 1st, noting their decision to camp on the Mountain of the Dead and their stay in the tents. Dyatlov had informed the sports club that they would return to Vizhai by February 12th and send a telegram to let everyone know they were safe. However, when Yuri Yudin left the group, Dyatlov mentioned that he felt it might take a bit longer to get back to Vizhai. As a result, when no telegram arrived by February 12th, no one immediately took action, assuming the group was just delayed, as it often happens in the mountains. But by February 20th, when there was still no word from the hikers, their families began to worry and demanded a rescue operation be launched immediately. People had a clue that they might not see the hikers alive again, but no one would have imagined what happened to them. What happened that final night? On February 26, 1959, a group of volunteers found the tent that the missing group had set up before reaching the mountain summit. Mikhail Sharavin, a member of the volunteer group, described the tent as being torn open in a way that suggested it had been cut with a knife from the inside, as if the group had to flee in a hurry. The tent was also covered with a thin layer of snow, and all the group's belongings were neatly arranged inside, indicating that there was no theft. No, it is not a horror story. It actually happened. This suggests that something catastrophic happened inside the tent, forcing the hikers to cut their way out and run for their lives. Footprints of different kinds were found near the tent, some showing that the hikers were wearing only socks, and some were barefoot. None of the footprints showed signs of proper footwear that professionals wear for some challenging treks. This indicates that whatever caused them to flee happened so suddenly that they didn't even have time to put on their shoes. These footprints were visible only for about 500 meters before being covered by snow, preventing the search team from tracking them further. All the dead bodies were found. After extensive search, the rescue team continued in the same direction and soon found a burned-out fire and the bodies of Krivonishenko and Doroshenko, who were part of the group. These people were found naked amidst the snow that can scorch through one's bones. On further inspection, when the rescue team checked a little farther, the team discovered the bodies of Dyatlov, Kolmogorova, and Slobodin. It looked as if they were trying to return to the tent. These three bodies were found 300, 480, and 630 meters away from the cedar tree where the first two bodies were found. It took the search team 2 more months to find the remaining 4 hikers. These bodies were discovered about 75 meters from the cedar tree, buried under a layer of snow at the bottom of a ravine. 3 of the 4 bodies had severe injuries. 2 had broken ribs and 1 had a fractured skull. 1 hiker was missing their eyeballs and another tongue was ripped out. In contrast, the first 5 bodies showed no such injuries, leading doctors to conclude that their cause of death was hypothermia. It is a condition that occurs when the body loses heat faster than it can produce it, leading to a dangerous drop in body temperature that ultimately results in death. How did these hikers die? The team noticed that the branches of the cedar tree were broken up to 5 meters high, suggesting that the hikers had tried to climb the tree to escape whatever was attacking them. But clearly, they could not succeed in their efforts, or maybe that entity didn't let them succeed. The team also investigated whether any other humans were present at the site, but found no evidence. The report stated that the injuries on their bodies were so severe and unusual that no human could have inflicted them. It seemed as if the hikers had fallen from a great height, but that still didn't explain the brutality of one hiker's missing eyeballs and the other's ripped off tongue. Additionally, there were radioactive particles found on the clothing of 3 of the hikers. This raised questions about whether a nuclear test could have caused their deaths. Despite various theories, the mystery remains unsolved. On July 11, 2020, Andrei Koryakov, the deputy head of the Urals Federal District Directorate, officially stated that an avalanche was the cause of the hiker's death. An avalanche is a large and dangerous slide of snow. However, this explanation is not confirmed, as many people believe that avalanches typically occur in March or April, and this incident happened in February. The truth of what happened to those 9 hikers that night went with them to their graves, and different theories and research continue to this day. What do you think might have happened to the group of curious, adventurous people who went out there with courage? Do share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. If you enjoyed watching the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such content. See you soon in another video.